Guys, and welcome back to a random introvert online. So if you guys want my makeup, it's going to be on Instagram Reels. I'm gonna leave it there for you, but today's topic is going to be why are men scared to marry or to just be with a Moroccan girl in general. Usually if you look up these kind of topics, you're gonna find a lot of things. I also saw that a lot of foreigners comment on this thing, trying to come here to get some, well, I don't know what to say about that, but dating or just thinking about getting married with a Moroccan girl is usually a scary thing for people, I heard, and there are a lot of reasons for that, so we're going to explore that today. Why is it so scary? Number one thing that would pop on anyone's head that is actually frightening is the fact that, well, if you don't behave, witchcraft is a way to make you behave. And I'm not supporting that. I really want to get rid of that mentality, but it's still there, and as far as I can tell, it really works. I know people that do it, I know people that practice it, I know people who do the sacrifice, you know, that stuff is everywhere. Everyone knows something, and usually in one block there's gonna be more than one witch or wizard or whatever you're gonna call it. And well, a lot's gonna happen to you. If it's not a misfortune, then you're gonna go crazy. People have went crazy in the past because of witchcraft. So I think that's one of the main things. Usually when a husband starts acting up, when he starts getting violent, or just, you know, starts thinking about seeing other girls, if a guy doesn't want to come propose to you soon, girls, if you catch him cheating, like there are so many situations in which men, well, act like men that we just don't like, and we need to pull them by the back of the neck, which happens. And yeah, so in Morocco usually you'd find men that are really strict with women, like you can't go out, you can't do this, you can't do that, just because they're scared of the potential that the woman might actually go do something to him. But the thing is, if you're acting up, we always have a phone number, like a phone. We can just call our mom and she'll take care of everything. So there's no escaping that. By the way, in this video, I'm not really condoning or being an apologetic for anything that people of my country are doing. If I'm speaking for myself, that means I'm not speaking for anybody else. And if other people do it, that does not mean I do it. So I just hope that we get that out of the way. This might not be something that is widespread. Maybe it's just widespread in my head. Like, as far as I know, this is the things that I hear a lot that I'm sharing with you today. So let's keep that in mind. So yeah, like I said, if the woman is not allowed to go out because her husband wouldn't let her go out, she can always call someone to also help her get that done. So if a woman has something in her head, she's gonna do it. If she's planning to hex you, she will. But the thing is, that doesn't apply only to women. I don't know why it only applies to women. I think we come across as the P gender, as the gender with less power, so we need to use external powers to make someone submit to what we want. I think that's why, but actually men also do it, and men are the ones that have the money in the house, so they can do it even better. They can hire even better witches and wizards, and buy even better materials. Like, the more expensive the spell is, the more effective it is. The more blood it contains, the more effective it is, and that needs good money. Women might not always have that, but men certainly do. So just because women do it, that doesn't mean men don't either. The reason I think is that everyone thinks we're gold diggers. Yeah, we like our shiny jewelry. Seriously, women here take gold as a symbol of status. Usually when we go to weddings, when we go to naming ceremonies, like this kind of thing, you're gonna find women that are dressed in gold from head to wrist, covered in gold. What they're wearing usually has some golden blemishing, that kind of thing, because gold has a really strong, and it, like, the way The weight of that symbol is really heavy. It's a symbol of status, it's a symbol of richness, prosperity, that kind of stuff. So it's really important for us to have gold, to keep hoarding gold throughout our lives, because as a mother you're gonna give it to your daughter and etc. When your husband is in a distress or he lost his job, you kind of go to gold, liquidate it so you can support your daily lives. Gold has a really important role in our lives, but being gold diggers does not mean we're actually mining gold. It just means in general that we love anything that is material, and that is true. That is a woman trait, and because in our countries being feminine is really important, and it is just what we are in general. Not always, but it is our governing law, and it is how we're raised in what we know. We kind of embody it in a way, and women are known to be hoarders, and even in evolutionary biology, men are the hunters and women are the gatherers. And that's why something like that just gives us insurance. It gives us that feeling of safety. It's a safety net. You're not gonna go poor, because when you go poor you kind of lower in status, you don't have power and all that kind of thing. And I think it really aligns with just women in general in every country, but because in some countries now women are kind of leaning towards being as masculine as possible, which kind of takes away from being as feminine as possible. So being somewhat of a hoarder instead of a hunter conflicts. And so that's why you see that in other countries women may not care about gold or, you know, just diamonds, money and that kind of stuff as women in like the Middle East, India and North African countries. So we're not really materialistic, we're just brought up a certain way, our culture is a certain way, and we do embody the divine feminine, I guess. A lot of people also attribute it to us growing poor. Let me tell you, most of us don't grow poor. Well, some of us, I'm not gonna deny that not being a fact, it is a factor, but like where I live, in my community, there's barely any poor people, but you still find women having that tendency to have these nice things. I think that's just everyone, and it's really a shame that women have to go through that, like the name calling of a gold digger and so on, because men also love their shiny objects. You guys like your weeds, you like your phones, you like your motorbikes, just all that kind of stuff, yet still women are the ones that have to endure all the name calling. So yes, money is an important asset. We don't deny it. We're not ashamed of saying that we like it, because no one hates it. If you hate it, you've never had enough in your life. Number 3, women in Morocco are prostitutes. You're sure you want to be saying that kind of thing? When you talk to actual prostitutes that do the business, they're not happy to be there. They're miserable. They have to do it to sustain themselves. It's not like you can just go out and find a job. That's not a thing. You can't create money from anything here, and there are so many jobs that are just not in high demand, and so many degrees that are like international degrees that just don't have a position for those kind of people. So you have to be competing in few jobs with very high competition, and also you need the connections in to bribe your way into them. So unless you have the right last name, unless you have enough money in your bank account, you may not always get the job. And so it makes it very hard, even for girls that do have a proper education, to make money in the right ways. So sometimes they have to get out of the way and will just go practice that profession. And sometimes when you get married and you get divorced, your parents may not always want you back in the house, because now you're a burden, you're a shame, and they just want nothing to do with you, because, well, divorce kind of is blamed on the woman more than it is blamed on the man, even if he's the one that left her to go pursue someone else or something else. And the woman may not always be wanted back into the house. Like one time I heard this story of this girl who so she got divorced, and her parents, like, didn't accept her back to the house, so she went and became a prostitute. The thing is that saddens me the most about that story is after she became a prostitute, she always sent them money on a monthly basis, and the people that talked to her said that she was the sweetest person ever, but unfortunately she just did not grow up in the right circumstances. I'm telling you, 90% of those women don't want that for themselves. They would die to have someone marry them and just, you know, how we call it in Moroccan, cover us, just protect us and to be our, you know, our security. And yes, we are dependent on men in that way. From a different perspective, we really don't have another choice. And so it's not easy being a Moroccan woman. And like wherever there's demand, there's supply, and well, there's a lot of demand when it comes to prostitutes. So no, we're not prostitutes, you're not gonna get any without the ring, but if you do meet someone that's already publicly lost her V card, then yeah, you might get some, because then she doesn't have really much to lose. Number 4, social climbers. Are we social climbers? Well, I don't know about that. I think that in every country where there's a monarchy, usually people try to be more of a social climber, to like reach a point where there's an admiration for what they have and what they are. That's just my point of view. I mean, let's just look at all the countries where there's a monarchy. There's usually like the monarchs, like there's all this social hierarchy, and people are trying to go up and down that. Well, no one's trying to go down, but people don't want to be, you know, high in the hierarchy in that sense. And so yeah, I think that is an inherent aspect of being a human, of being a hoarding human. You know, we like acquiring wealth, and so it is normal for someone to be a social climber and to try get out of what they're in and try to do something with themselves and just to embody success in general. Why not be a social climber? What's so bad about that? What's so bad about wanting to be successful? What's so bad about wanting to just not be the same you of 10 years ago? I don't know. I mean, if I'm gonna get shit for it, then let it be. I'm not apologetic about the things that I want. Also another claim that a lot like to make, and I heard that in my comment, and well, I'm gonna leave the video here, but that was in the comments that, you know, Moroccan women just want you for a visa. Okay, I'm not going to deny that. That is something that we do want, yes. We want the luxury of having that. But the thing is, you're not just a bridge. As a man, you may be a bridge to have that, yes, but is that everything you are? No. And you also need to keep in mind what kind of women are you dealing with. You need to get to know that person. You need to see the red flags. Just because she's a bombshell doesn't mean she has a good heart, doesn't mean she has good intentions for you. And you kind of need to read the signs. Like I said, like there's this proverb, the birds of the feather flock. So you need to see what kind of feathers does she have, what kind of feathers that you have. Let's give a little example. She has 3 different degrees. She is a bombshell, she is gorgeous, she can speak multiple languages, and she earns an income for herself. She's completely independent, she has her own car, her own place, does whatever she wants, and she is just that bitch. A woman like that will not be settling for less. And when you come and you don't have all of that, you're not better than her. Actually, you're way worse, and it's really obvious. Yeah, she might leave you. I'm not saying it's 100%, but it just increases the probability. And so you might want to be careful in that situation. But when you're in kind of, when the roles are reversed and you have everything and she doesn't have much, then yeah, she's gonna stick with you because she doesn't have any options. And I'm not saying that we are not capable of love. I'm just saying we're not raised in that kind of environment where everyone's hugging, expressing feelings. love is something that you do in secret, and with time you just grow to hate it. You don't want to be in love, you just want to grow in love with someone. And so yeah, we sometimes rush to get married hoping that we do grow in love with the person. Sometimes we don't, and that is completely fine. There's also this video that was surfacing online with of this woman who had this luxurious, beautiful wedding. Everyone looked happy after she got to, I think it was the UK. She wanted to accuse the husband of beating her, so she kind of hit herself in the elevator so she can have bruises and so she can go report to the cops. Unfortunately, the elevator had cameras and all her plans went to fail. That girl made so many mistakes on so many levels. One, if you don't like the guy, don't be with him. Why would you do that to yourself? Number two, at least wait until you have your papers, goddammit. If you're gonna be smart, don't act stupid. And yeah. And number two, most of the women that go there get divorced after if they don't like the husband. Is getting divorced something wrong? No. Is getting divorced with someone who you're not happy with anymore wrong? No. But the only thing that is different in this situation is that the woman married someone that was just not from her country and was from a different culture. So that happens on every level. Divorce levels in Morocco are super high. That's what happens when you give women power. No, I'm not a misogynist, but yeah, divorce levels are high. We're not easy to please. Not all of us, again, I'm not generalizing, but the thing that I'm trying to say is that divorce is something normal. And just because you took her to a different country and that's where she left you, does not mean she used you. She used you as a ladder so that she would go to a different place. Just trying to make it obvious, or I'm just trying to explain, make it simple to how it's not always what it looks like. It's really not always what it looks like. In Morocco, men are masculine. They, this is an example that my mom always says. He's a man that's gonna take the prey out of the lion's mouth. Like a man that is capable of just being a man in general. And when you, I'm not throwing shade, but some Western men are not like that. You guys are too spoiled. Okay, so the last reason is people here think that women love Middle Eastern men, and it's a fact because, well, they're known to be really generous, really masculine, really givers, protectors. They take care of the woman. It's hard for them to let you go because society will deem them as bad as much as they will deem you as bad, and so it's a bad situation for both parties. Now, also getting married on a religious basis is also important, and it also helps strengthen the family bond, and it actually gives you a goal and you to grow together in that journey. And having something like that will usually add to the probability that the relationship would actually work, because now you have a reason to make it work. And it's not like when you just get married because you love each other and then you don't exactly love each other anymore a year later, and then what? So it is really important to find a reason like that, like growth, success, or just something like a goal to keep in mind and to just grow towards it. Now, something like religion is something that does not end even after you die. So after you die, you two go to heaven together. So it's really something that is deeply rooted in our cultures, and yeah, we don't find that in Western men typically because they're not religious, they don't care, they're gonna stop loving you at some point. There's gorgeous girls everywhere and they're gonna look at them. They don't really have that kind of structure to their lives as much as we do, because our lives are like super structured. There's rules everywhere, and that is a good thing. That is a good thing. Rules are good. They're not always bad. Unless they're bad rules, then yeah, they're bad rules. But when they're there just to keep you safe and to make sure you sustain a certain lifestyle, a premise, or just a structure in general. So that's why having such a common goal to get married is usually good. In dating, usually doesn't take long with these people because you know it's gonna happen soon. it's something you ask in the beginning when you meet the person. What do you want from this conversation? Where do you see us in a year? And so if it doesn't say kids, you know, that kind of stuff, cut it short. And so also one thing I noticed about dating a foreigner is that they don't have this culture of being gifters. They don't. The thing is, feminism in there had made it so much difficult for men to be men, so men now have a hard time opening doors. They don't bring flowers, they're not gonna buy you chocolates, they're not gonna take you on a shopping spree, all these things, because women can also now do it, and they understand that. But it's not about who can do it for who, it's about the gesture of actually consider doing it for the other person. And yeah, again, that's where the Middle Easterns are completely different. They're gonna bring a bunch of luggage just for gifting other people, whereas if a foreigner comes, they're just gonna bring his underwear and his toothbrush, and there's really nothing in it for you. And yeah, I guess I'm going to wrap up this video here. So I'll see you guys in another video. I hope you liked this video. I hope it's been educational and a little eye-opening. This is how everything is from the perspective of a Moroccan girl, and if you have things to add, feel free to add it. Let me know what you think. Hit me up on Instagram, follow me there. I also have a Reddit. Okay, I'm on a lot of places, just follow me there. And so I'll see you there.